Okay, we are Passions Live. And yes, today we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel, Passions. And we're going live. Always a really, really risky thing to do. The jeopardy is quite palpable. We often record these things, and of course we can edit and we can cock it up and all sorts. When it's live, anything could happen. So, technology can blow up or microphones can go off. But the good news is, in the first instance, is we've got to the point where you can actually see and hear me, Ewan and Drew. Obviously, I'm way too old to be in the Rosellas, but Ewan and Drew, of course, are from the Rosellas. So very warm welcome to the Passion Show, boys.
Nice one for having us, mate.
Cheers, thanks for having us.
Fabulous. So this, as you know, is the Passions channel. So tell us, you start off, Drew. What would you say is, if somebody said to you, what's your passion, Drew, what would you say it is?
Music and football. I mean, guitar is normally where it lies because it's what I started playing from when I was like probably about 6 or 7. And as soon as I could kick a ball, my dad tried to get me to support City when I was a nipper, but he didn't succeed. So I'm a United fan. He's the only blue in the family. But yeah, man, since I started playing guitar, just kind of took off with it. I got over wanting to be an astronaut by the time I was about 8. And then I was just like, yeah, sod it, I'll settle for guitar. Got all right at it. And then, yeah, started playing live, met the lads, made the band. And I don't want to do anything else, really.
That's awesome. What about you, Ewan? Was you the same, or did you have a different?
Yeah, well, I'm not really that bothered about music. I just care about football. Yeah, the same as Drew. When I was younger, I was just bothered about playing footy. So yeah, it's good to be doing something that I'm really into.
Yeah, brilliant. So obviously, are you a United fan as well?
No, mate, I support Hull City.
Hull City?
Yeah, Mighty Tigers of League One.
Well, I'll tell you what then, Ewan. You and I have got more in common because it's all my dad's fault. I could have supported City. I could have supported United because obviously I'm from Manchester. My dad's a Bolton fan, so I got lumbered with Bolton Wanderers. So I'm even worse off than you boys.
Yeah. Nice, rotting in League Two.
Rotting is right. Oh, hey, listen, we've won 5. Not that this is anything to do with anybody who's watching now, thinking, what are these guys on? But yeah, they won. They've won about 5 games on the trot, boys. Now. We're back, boys.
Were you ever there? That's the question.
I was back in the day when Allardyce is a bit of a hero of mine because if you're talking passions, Allardyce is a bit of a hero of mine because as a team to be playing in the Europe and 5th or 6th in the Premiership.
Oh, yeah. You had a really good team then, didn't you?
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Joe Kiev and all that, and yeah. So I was fortunate to have been a fan during those times, and then just like a lot of things, the success is transient, and you kind of watch as the wheels come off.
That's what's happening to us now. Like a few years ago, we were in the Europa League, we got to the FA Cup final, and now we're struggling in League One.
Yeah, so at least Drew can't brag too much because City are spanking him at the moment, aren't they?
I can't, mate. I'm just reveling in the fact that the Scousers are slipping up. That's the place I can find.
I know it's the Northwestern football is an absolute cauldron of activity and vitriol a lot of the time as well, isn't it?
Only as of recent, though. As of recent, back in the early 2000s and that. I wouldn't say so. It took City a while to get the foot in the door, didn't it?
It did. It did.
It's a contender now. So
it did.
A team from Manchester up there. End of the day, you know what I mean? I'd rather a team from Manchester were winning it than fucking Chelsea or something like that. So.
Well, we're very tribal, though, aren't we? I always think that it always makes me laugh when you get, say, a West Ham fan, I don't know, a Tottenham fan, and they actually hate each other. and then they're giving it all this grief when we used to be able to watch football in football grounds, and they're giving it all this grief, and then they end up going over to Bulgaria to watch England, and we're all in it together. Come on, boys! You go from this hating somebody to loving them just depending on who you're supporting at the time. It always makes me laugh.
Yeah, I know. Funny you say that, man, because I was actually in Bulgaria when we were doing when it was the 2018 World Cup. I was in some absolute hole of a place called Sunny Beach, man, on holiday with like about 5 or 6 of my mates. And it was mad. It was literally just like walking through Market Street in the centre of Manchester. There were so many Brits around. Must have outnumbered like the locals by about 50 to 1. It was crazy. But the atmosphere was mint, and you're right. No one gives a shit what team you support. You know, when you're overseas supporting the boys that are wearing white.
Yeah, it's weird, really, but it's classic of tribes. You know, we are tribal back right the way back to the Stone Age times. Of course, we are tribal in our psyche. Anyway, this is getting into a bit of a Professor University of Salford conversation.
Keep going.
Yeah, well, I will admit, Drew, I'm not going to lie, I hate United. But then on that on that point, we'll move on to the next discussion.
Wise.
Right. Okay. So, football and music. How did the music start for you then, Ewan? Did you just pick up an instrument? What instrument do you play in the band?
So I play the guitar. And mine was quite late, so I think I was about 16, 17 when I started playing the guitar. But it's because I broke my foot, funnily enough, playing football on the first day of the school holidays. Right, so obviously I couldn't go out, couldn't do anything. And my little brother had a guitar, so I just was like, started fiddling around on it and got really into it. So it came from that. So that was only about 5 or 6 years ago. So how much has happened in that short space of time is quite good, really, I think.
And would you say
been doing it since he was 10 or 8 or whatever?
Well, that's everybody gets into it at different ages and stuff. But was it always, was the band an accident, or was it something you'd always dreamed of? I want to be in a band, and went to sleep at night dreaming about. Or did it just happen by accident?
I think it was a bit for me anyway, I always liked the idea of being in a band without ever really chasing after it. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't going around asking people, "Oh, can you be in my band? Can you be?" It just sort of, I always thought, it'd be quite good to do. But how it came about was, I suppose it was a bit of an accident, wasn't it? Like, we didn't sit down and say, "Okay, we just met each other, let's start a band." It was more like, we were into the same sort of music, so it happened quite naturally, I think.
And what about you, Drew? Do you always think about, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, or was it just an afterthought?
No, it's not for it. Definitely not.
We sort of I met Ewan, we were on the train back from a Blossoms gig, and I think that was in 2018. And he was a couple of years above me at school, and like you said, we got chatting about the music and whatnot. And at the time, I was doing some solo stuff with a few mates it was under my name, Drew Selby instead of Rosellas or whatnot. And we had a gig at night and day in a week's time. And on this night, I met you, and I was like, we were all pissed up, so we didn't even remember the next day. So I had to message him are you up for it or not? But I said to him get in this backing band.
Who's this?
Yeah, waking up what? He sort of got in, and we did the backing band stuff for a while. But then the other lads were saying, we've got something to offer here. Why don't we make it a band? And me, I'm not a self-centered knobhead. I was thinking, yeah, fine, let's do that. If you want to write songs, if you want to play live under a group name, let's try it out. So I guess it did naturally progress from just messing about and rehearsing to getting you in, doing a gig as someone else, and then thinking, oh, sod it, we'll just do the band instead. And I mean, I think we're absolutely mint. I think we're the best bunch of musicians we could hope to find in each other, you know what I mean? So we may as well go all the way with it. I don't really see any point in trying anything else.
Well, that's great to hear that confidence, because do you know what? It's a lot of people, including a lot of people I interview, they really do have this little voice in their head saying that they're not good enough, or they're never going to be anything worthwhile. Or it's great. It's actually really, really inspiring to hear somebody who's actually confident in their abilities.
I think you have to be, man. In this game, the music industry's fickle, man. You can be big 1 minute and then drop flat on your ass the next minute, and you've got to be able to deal with things like that. And if you don't have the self-confidence and the self-belief to pursue it, you're going to fall by the wayside. And then that's when you got to ask yourself whether you're in it for the right reasons. Are you in it to make money? Are you in it for fame? Or are you in it just to pursue a passion? For me and Ewan and the rest of the lads, it's pure passion, man. We don't want to do anything else. So we may as well be confident in our ability, because it's going to make it more likely to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. I love that mindset. And for what it's worth, that's the mindset that will drive you to the success that you want. Okay, well, we're going to get, as I said to you before we started, we're going to get a little bit clever now. And I think it would be remiss of us, wouldn't it, not to just play a bit of a track from your YouTube channel. This track is called Damaged, and you recorded it, I think, in lockdown, if I'm right. Is that right?
The video that you're showing, that acoustic one, was done back in summer.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try. Hopefully, the technology will do what it should do, and let's just have a listen then to your track "Damaged." Here we go.
Yes.
2 years, no words, it never works. They said that it wouldn't hurt, but how would they know? Lost sight of a face that I used to know. I could pass you in the street tomorrow without a second thought. You can try to think of the good times, but when the good times are off, as common as the bad is worse. Drink all your problems away, they'll come back and find you another day. But it's never your fault, 'cause you can't stand you too. You're so wrong, you never wanted truth. While the boy's grown up and your heart's still shattered through, I guess I'm damaged too. See another ball to the dreary end, and come out all guns blazing through your head. She says, put the demons to bed. Give a speech on the world and what it owes you. Unrealized potential filled you when you're sober, if there's ever a day. You're so wrong, you never wanted truth. Well, the boy's grown up and your heart's still shattered through. I guess I'm damaged too. yourself, then there's no point trying. 'Cause I can't stand you too. 'Cause I can't stand you too.
Wow, how good was that? Absolutely loved it. I actually said to you, didn't I, before we came on, that you're not going to believe me, being an old git. I think they're just going to think that I've made it all up. But I can tell you, boys, that is one hell of a great track. Seriously.
Appreciate it, man. It's a good sign, that.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, and beautiful harmonies as well. Who wrote that then? Did you all write it, or just one or two of you, or what?
Me and Ewan wrote it.
No, that was Drew wrote that one.
It is really, really good.
It's if we're gonna get onto what it's about, I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, because it's the beauty of songwriting, man, that you don't give it a meaning. You know what I mean? Like, you've listened to that track then, and you're listening to the words and the melodies, and you're picking out nice harmonies and stuff like that. But the beauty of it is that you can apply that to anything that's happened to you. You know what I mean? Obviously, the lyrics are about something. It's about something that happened to me. But people are going to be able to associate that with whatever they want. And they're the best songs for me. They're the ones that stick in your head. I mean, I've said this on like other interviews, but the best analogy I can use is when my mum first played me Stone Roses' debut album. And I was listening to like I Want to Be Adored and This Is the One and stuff like that. And I was like, what on earth is Ian Brown even saying? Like, you can hardly make out what he says because his vocal's about 1 decibel. But the thing is, you listen to the words, and even though they might be nonsensical, you apply it to a feeling, don't you? And then every time you listen to that song, you think of that feeling, or you think of a moment and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm glad that you like it though, man, because kids have told us they like it as well. Well, kids like my little cousins, not just like asking kids on the street, but my little cousins have said it's a tune, and now you're saying it's a tune. So we've got both ends of the spectrum. Oh,
100%. You know, if in terms of playlists, as we were talking before we came on air, I'm old, so you know, I was massively and still am massive into David Bowie, and as we were discussing Depeche Mode and that sort of music. But I would definitely have that on my playlist, and I think what happens is, I don't know what you guys think, but I think initially when you hear a song, you love the tune. You know, it's what they say, it's a great tune. And I personally don't zone into the lyrics early on. I just, do I like this tune? And then as I get used to the tune, it's almost then I start to listen to the lyrics. So are you going to give me any indication whatsoever as to what it's about? Or are you going to play this moody band member who's not going to tell me?
No, mate. All the lads in the band know what it's about. And that's all that matters. As long as they don't think I'm singing about burgers and chips, then it's fine.
Yeah, well, you got to have mystery, haven't you? To be fair to you, you got to have some mystery. If you give up all your secrets, then nobody'll take any notice.
You do, man. I think it's boring when people just tell you exactly what all their songs are about, because it limits what you can expect. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely be able to interview you again at some point. Then I can bug the hell out of you to tell us what it was about. But a great track. Is that have you had any singles out yet in terms of, you know, launched the singles, or is it where you're at in the journey?
What you?
We've had 2 out at the minute, and we've got another one coming out hopefully within the next few weeks.
And what's happened with lockdown? Because obviously we watched that was, you say that was recorded during lockdown. How have you found it in the last year? Because there's been a lot of debate and discussion, hasn't there? Especially about being able to perform live, and as well as that, some of the discussions around all the paperwork and all the aggro now, being able to go into Europe and actually perform with visas and everything. Is that something you've come across, and how have you been dealing with the lockdown?
Well, not being able to gigs been hard, because we had a few gigs lined up, so that's been annoying. The travelling abroad, I think that's annoying for everyone. We've never gigged outside the UK, but now we haven't got the chance to. Do you know what I mean? So that's really annoying. But what I think we've written quite a lot, haven't we? And we've recorded a fair bit, so we've got stuff ready to go. But it's just a case of when, I think.
I've actually heard that a lot in the creative space around music and in TV and plays and all the rest of it, is that creative people have had so much time, they've been able to dump all this stuff down that they might not normally have had time to do. And I've read that there's this almost like this pent up huge range of creative work that's theatre, television, music, that's going to be a flooding in over the next year or two.
Yeah, it'd be good if that's. I think for us, that's definitely. We've written a lot more than we would have done. So for us, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I think it's really, really good, that tune. And have you got an album then as well?
We haven't got an album, but we've done EPs. We've done 3 EPs, and we did one in lockdown, which was the acoustic one called Back in the Room, which came out in lockdown. But we haven't got an album yet. I think there is a plan for one eventually, but it's more when someone will fund it for us.
Yeah, about that. I mean, we've got like demos. We put out like when we were gigging before lockdown. At all our gigs, we gave away 3 CDs, and that album's on SoundCloud called just Demos. But we've recently started selling T-shirts and stuff like that on our website. And when we get back to gigging as well, we're giving away CDs with the T-shirts, and we're going to give them away at gigs as well. And that's a whole new album of like 10 new tracks called Demos 2, quite creatively, I know. But yeah, so we've got we're sitting on a lot of material, man. And although we're kind of, we feel like we're releasing music more than other bands, but, purely just because of the amount of songs we've got, and we don't want stuff to end up in the bin. We also want to keep people interested and engaged. But, it's not like we're trying to give it all away dead quick. You know what I mean? We do understand that there has to be, like you said, a certain air of mystery about it. But we've got the material, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ian thinks it's a top tune as well. So
yes, Ian.
so obviously, if Ian thinks it's good as well, we're cool. How do you feel about? I mean, who's been your inspiration? Who have you been passionate about listening to over the last few years that have got you to this place? And who have you been looking at, thinking I'd love to be them one day?
Who, me or you?
Both of you. You start, Drew.
I think it's a big question, that one. When I was younger, and in my household growing up, there was always one of 3 people on it. It was either the Chili Peppers, Pink Floyd, or Bowie, pretty much every day. And my dad used to stay up late on BBC4 and stuff, watching music documentaries and that. And my mum always used to put live videos on. And I remember from a very young age watching videos of Dave Gilmour playing guitar and seeing Bowie and how he dressed and how he acted and how they all behaved in interviews. And that's what sparked it off for me. That was me thinking bloody hell, I want to be like Dave Gilmour one day. I want to make those kind of noises. And then as I got older and I got into the Stone Roses when I was about 14, 15, around the same time I discovered Oasis and The Verve, a lot of the bands from the Manchester and Northwest scene. And I don't know, man, their music just resonated with me massively. And I just loved watching live videos of them and how much the crowd were going off at it and how much rock music was it was much more popular back then anyway. You know what I mean? And it had more about it. It's not like watching a live gig of Dua Lipa today where there's just 10-year-olds bouncing up and down. It's a different kind of feeling when I watch those videos. So I say it's kind of them. And I mean, getting into the songwriting of Nolan, Ian Brown and Richard Ashcroft, and that, it made me think well, if they can do it, it's not impossible, because it's not like they came from extraordinary wealth or in some cases extraordinary talent. I mean, Ian Brown can hardly sing in tune, man, but he's a hell of a songwriter. So it just kind of made it a bit of a realistic dream, for want of a better term.
And what about you, Ewan? Have you got any specific
so
inspiration?
mine's probably more Liverpool than Manchester. So where Drew's is Manchester, mine's probably more Liverpool, like Shaq, The Lars, Echo and the Bunnymen. bands like that. But I do, you know, I like the Smiths and I like Oasis and them Manchester bands, which, you know, bands like that. But I also like, you know, listen to a lot of Bob Dylan, Neil Young, the Beatles, like 60s stuff. And I think that does come out in some of our tunes. Definitely Neil Young, I think, more than the others.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see different bands and what inspiring you. Does it with the Northwest's success in music terms and the history? Does that help or hinder you? Does that create more pressure? Might sound a silly question, but does that create more pressure to succeed? The fact you're a northern band, or does it not matter?
I don't think so. I think it means people take us a bit more seriously. Say if we were like from London or something, then I don't think it'd work as well.
Yeah, unless you're wearing a flowery shirt, pink trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's easy to, you know, because the music that we play is, you know, it's guitar heavy. A lot of the riffs are, you know, obviously inspired, like Damage, the intro riff to that. I was thinking of Johnny Marr's playing when I came up with that stuff. And, you know, we want people to look at that and draw positive comparisons and be like, you can hear the influence. But there's always going to be a bunch of salty people that are like, yeah, they're just trying to be Oasis. They're trying to be the Smiths. And you're going to get that because, you know, we're sat in the shadow of some seriously good bands. And our objective is to take what we can from them, learn what we can, amalgamate it into our own thing, and hopefully make that a success. We're not trying to copy people. We're not following in their footsteps. We're trying to learn from them and use it. And that's exactly what Oasis did to the people that they listened to. Noel said he listened to the Beatles growing up all the time. People say they're a direct knockoff. I don't really hear it all the time. Some of the songs are, but he learned from them, took it and made it something new. You know what I mean? So people are always going to label you as wannabes or, you know, trying to copy other people, but we just don't have time for that, man.
Yeah, no, but it's been happening throughout history. History of music, that's been happening. It's nothing new.
Yeah. I mean, like you always say, there's only so many chords on a guitar, man. You know what I mean? Copyright was introduced to increase creativity, not to stifle it. You know what I mean? But there is only a certain amount of stuff you can do, so you got to try and make it different with what you got.
So the thing that everybody's asking themselves now, of course, guys, is was Damage just an accident, and was it just a one-hit wonder? But of course, it isn't. Because I listened to another trick of you. I listened to another track of yours as well, didn't I? And this one is called Common Ground, and I like this one too. So let's have a listen to Common Ground.
I've got my whole City shirt on in this.
Wow. Do you know what? Honestly, I thought, that damage track was really, really good. But now a second track that's got you boogieing away. Amazing. So tell us about that track. Is that a secret as well, Drew? Or can we be a bit more open about that one?
Ewan's lyrics are there, so I'll let him take that one.
Yeah, that's a secret as well. Top secret.
Yeah, but it's what a fantastic tune.
Yeah, I mean that like those two videos on YouTube, we've only put those ones up because it's the only ones that we did, like in that lockdown period. There's loads more and stuff on Spotify and that, so we're not one-hit wonders, man. There's plenty more.
Yeah.
That is.
I was only winding you up.
Yeah, that is. That's probably one of our favourite tunes to play live. I reckon. We get like a big intro going on it, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Definitely.
Well, I've got a couple of questions for you that I've had. One question from Lucy: does fame scare you? That's for you, Drew, first.
Nah, not really, man. It's just same shit, different day, really. I guess you just have to be careful what you say and what you wear.
What about you, Ewan? Does it scare you?
Does fame scare me? I've only thought about it, to be honest with you. Even if we are massive, I don't think anyone knows who I am anyway. So.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think a lot of people you listen to, talking to, there's just so many things they take for granted about everyday life that they can do, like going down, grabbing a bottle of shandy from the local shop, or going getting a bottle of milk from supermarket, and then suddenly they start, fame kicks in, and then they've got paparazzi rummaging through the bins and all that kind of thing. I think that's probably what she's getting at. Yeah,
well, I mean, some people live for that, man. You know what I mean? That can be the main motivation for some people getting into this game, because, they just want people to know who they are and they want all eyes on them. And like I said before, that's a bonus for us. You know what I mean? That's not the motivation. The motivation is like making a living, no matter how much it is, as long as we're getting by, writing tunes and playing gigs. That's our life done with. You know what I mean? If people then want to stop you on the way to the boozer for a picture, yeah, fair enough. But it's a cost that comes with playing in front of 10,000 people. I mean, if you said to us, would you like to, what would you think of fame if it allowed you to play in front of 50,000 people? I'd say I'd take the 50,000 people, man. I don't give a shit what happens fame-wise after that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ewan?
No, I agree. I think as long as we can be, we're as good as we can be, regardless of anything else, then whatever else happens is, it's worth it for that, rather than the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, once you're a bigger than Oasis, of course, I've got this interview in the early days, and I'll better flog it to MTV and all that for about 150 grand. So I'm laughing. I knew the boys when they were young and naive.
I knew them first.
Yeah, that's why people want these CDs, man. They just want to be able to flog the CDs on for 500 quid in 10 years.
Yeah, and then of course it'll be, God, don't they look young? That's the other thing you'll get. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, but me and Ewan are probably going to look older. There's some boys in the band that won't look a day older. They've got some baby faces.
Brilliant. Okay, so another question from somebody called Mika. And Mika says, do you actually all get on in the band?
No.
Nah. Hate his gut, mate.
We never speak to each other apart from on interviews.
Yeah, this is the only. I haven't seen him for weeks, man. He just sent me a message 2 minutes before the interview. He's like, "You all right, mate? Yeah. Right, see you in a sec."
No, who's this?
Still not got my number saved. No,
we do.
When we're gigging, when we're rehearsing, gigging, it's, it's very cliche to say, man, but when you're in the middle of a tune at a gig and the crowd are having it and you're all having it, you sort of like look over to each other, and it just transcends everything else. You know what I mean? It is one of the best feelings on earth, just playing your stuff with your mates in front of people that are into you. You know what I mean? And in that moment, we all get on. But then, you know, when I'm owed a £5 of petty money after the gig for driving to Pot Shrigley and back, and it takes more than an hour, friendships are hanging in the balance there.
Yeah, so when you're on the moment, when you're on stage and in the moment, that's a very different thing than when you're back in the real world. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, wait until we go on tour, man. It's going to all blow up.
Yeah,
Well,
well, that's it. But it has to. That's rock and roll, isn't it? It has to, doesn't it? You've got to. Even if you get on, you've got to create the fact you don't, haven't you?
if a band ever said to you that they all get on and they're the best of mates and they live together and they go to the boozer together, they probably sleep together, they're lying, man. It doesn't work like that. Working relationships don't. Me and you have a pretty good relationship because we're the songwriters. We have to have a good relationship. If we were at each other's throats all the time, man, the band wouldn't have any songs. So the other lads are all right. They can throw a pity fit if they want one. They just come back a week later.
Yeah, it's actually a very fair comment, actually. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. What does, and it's might be a difficult one to answer, I don't know if you've thought about it, but at the heart of it, what does ultimate success look like? In other words, if we ping forward, let's say 10 years, what would actual success be as you felt it to be at that point? Ewan, do you want to start with that one?
I think standing up alongside other bands that we idolise and, you know, that have done well. For example, Oasis, The Smiths, people like that. If our music stands up next to theirs, then I think that's success.
Awesome. What about you, Drew?
I'd agree.
What did you just say then?
I was actually just copying me. I agree. I think people to be able to say, or, you know, our name in the same sentence as these other bands from the Northwest when they say, oh yeah, they were great. They were great. You know, that's always the best thing you can get. Awards, things like that, they don't really resonate with us, man, because, you know, the people.
You don't won any.
Yeah, don't won any. And we're not probably going to win any. And we're not asked about it because the people that buy the records are the fans. People that buy the tickets are the fans. They buy your T-shirts. They're the ones that love and adore what you do. You know what I mean? Not someone that tells you that you've eclipsed 80,000 streams in a day. Yeah, great, mate. But that numbers aren't really how we'd measure success. It's more the value we have to people. You know what I mean? And obviously, if we were playing Glastonbury in 10 years, headlining it, I'd say that's a success. Something's gone right.
Yeah, it'd be a great success if we had Glastonbury again in 10 years.
Yeah, it'd be socially distanced, though, wouldn't it? Capped at 100 capacity in 150,000 arena field. Yeah, but anyway, it looks like you might be playing again live, I reckon, in the next few months. I think we're on the. I don't want to tempt fate, but I think possibly we're on the journey out.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
I hope so.
And that'd be absolutely fantastic. Right, boys, that's brilliant. So how do people find out more about you? Have you got a website? Is more on YouTube? Do you want to just tell people how they can get access to your music? Spotify?
As of literally last night, we've got a website. Yeah. Website.
Oh, how good is that timing then? So tell people what the URL is or the domain address is for your website.
www.rosellasband.com. Can you see the name? Yeah, you see it on the bottom of the screen here. So it's just rosellasband.com. There's no the. I don't know what I feel, mate.
Yeah. Look, I didn't do my research. I'm an amateur.
On that website.
Yeah, I know it's Rosellas. I've just had a message from somebody to say it's Rosellas. So, it's Rosellas, not the Rosellas.
Yeah, man.
Well, do you know what? If you're as big as Oasis, I don't think you'll give a shit whether people call you the Rosellas, would you?
Absolutely not. Did anyone ever call them the Oasis? Don't know.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, actually. What does the word actually mean? Is there a meaning of the word?
Nah.
I bet there is, you know.
Secrets, mate. Secrets of the trade.
Rosella's a parrot, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Well, when we're done, I'm going to go. I'm going to message you after we're done.
We're not made nothing that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that Rosella was a parrot when we decided to make that name. I think it was you that brought it to my attention, bro. And you were like, You do know that's a parrot? And I was like, shit. But we'd already committed to it, man. But it looks nice. You know what I mean? Like the logo that we've got and the way it writes, it's a nice looking name. It's better than Megadeth or something like that.
Yeah, those two tracks we played are not Megadeth tracks. They're just not. No,
exactly.
No,
you can't come out looking dead gothic unless you're screaming about death and destruction. So
you need to get creative, right? You need to think about, we thought long and hard and we found out that it was this colourful bird and we decided that it represented our flamboyance and the colour of our music. That's what you need to bullshit about.
You teach English literature at high school. What colour are the curtains? You know, what does that insinuate? You've got brown blinds behind you. You're a bit of a beige guy. That's the type of territory we're getting into now, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah. I've actually got some bright flashing lights behind there, but I didn't put them on because I didn't want to show off too much.
Yeah, we just assume that you're overjoyed at our presence.
Yeah. Exactly. I am. It's been fantastic. So let's call it a day there. That's 41 minutes. That's flipping a long time, that actually. That's gone so quick. Yeah, really want to thank you for coming on Passions. Your passion is just coming out really clearly. And I hope people follow it. I know I certainly will be. And I'll be watching your progress now. And more importantly, listening to your music. And maybe one day I'll be able to sneak in at the back, so I don't make you uncool by seeing this old git at the back. And I'll sneak in at the back of the venue and watch you live.
All right, you'll fit right there, shoulder to shoulder with Ian. Top fan.
Oh, here he is again. Look at this.
I know. Have you ever thought of covering a Neil Diamond song?
No. Fully enough, no, we've not.
He's absolutely gagging for Sweet Caroline, isn't he? I reckon we do it just at a one-off, mate. Middle of a gig, proper heavy.
No, you do it that way if you want. I'll be walking off.
Just get it when Ian comes in. Yeah, right. Well, he's frozen, isn't he? It's ideal.
Was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, Drew, thanks for coming on, mate.
You've been good.
It doesn't make any sense, but thanks for coming on.
You've been good, mate. I like what T-shirt is that? It's quite nice.
We'll have to leave. Let's go. I just want to ask you about your influences. Who have you influenced?
Kylie Minogue. Got to be right up there.
Yeah, I hear that.
Is it Icadelic?
So I've just got a few quick fire questions.
Yeah. There you go, guys. I told you.
That's nice.
What did I say to you?
Hey, we were just having a chinwag, mate. It's fine. He took the interview.
I'm glad I just had a power cut.
Have you?
The warm-up interview. We just did the real one, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so I'll just take me completely out of it, and then you guys can. I'll just include you guys having a chat.
Yeah, we'll carry on.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, it'll be fine. It'll be all right. So we were just closing anyway as it happens. So thanks very much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it.
That's right.
And really enjoyed meeting you. And all the very, very best of luck for the future.
Yeah, man. We'll keep in touch. Definitely.
100%.
We'll come back on in 10 years and we'll have to buy back the rights for this interview.
Yeah, we won't do any more interviews and we'll just give you exclusive rights to the 10-year anniversary interview. How's that?
Right. This is also being recorded, so I've got the proof, the evidence, the legal protection.
Oh, I follow it.
So now, if I don't dare let me see you on Music TV or BBC or ITV or any of that stuff, or this morning, because there'll be a lawsuit, boys, heading your way faster than you can say Jack Robinson.
Yeah, balls it up there, man.
Yeah, and all I'll say finally is I hope Hull City do really well in the next few months. And Drew, I hope that United slide down the table as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah, is that right? You just watch me. The glory days, they'll be back. It might take 5 years, but they'll be back.
You do know, don't you, that all pop stars want to be footballers and all footballers want to be pop stars? Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
I have, to be fair. I have, but which would you rather be?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm too old now. I used to play football when I was younger, but actually, I was in a band, believe it or not, when I used to have hair back in the day. Yeah, we used to do. I mentioned I played keyboards. I played keyboards when I got into synthesizer when they came out, and so we were playing stuff like New Order. Actually, played a bit of New Order in the band, bit of Duran now and again. Yeah, I used to love it. Not going to lie, I used to love it. I was in the back playing the keyboards. But yeah, my claim to fame was I was in the local chip shop, and a girl came up to me about 14 and said, "You were in that band last night, weren't you?" And that was it, mate. That was it. I'd arrived.
Yeah. You should have had it. I bet she's got your poster on a wall still to this day.
It's true. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. So yeah, I think anything
when our
that you
keyboard
do.
player leaves, she can come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a spot for you, man.
Yeah, but then they'll say to you, "Why did you bring your granddad to this gig? It's not
You
appropriate."
might have to wear a wig and young people's clothes, and then you'll be fine.
Hey, listen, it's cool now. It's cool now. Everybody's shaving their heads.
That's true. Yeah, true.
Yeah, apart from us, you're not going to see that from us anytime soon, mate.
Yeah, but the problem is I've not seen your parents, or not seen your dads. You might find it's coming to you quicker than you think.
Yeah, we both got wigs on,
My
mate.
dad's got longer hair than me.
You're right.
Right, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you, boys. Really enjoyed. Seriously, though, I really, really enjoyed it. Love listening to your music. Really delighted I've found your music, and I will definitely be listening to it. And I'm sure people of all ages will be enjoying those tracks and more, and the more stuff you bring out, because they're just great to listen to. So congratulations on that, and all the very, very best for the future, boys.
All right, nice one, Phil.
Take care, boys.
Cheers, mate.
See you later, man.
Okay, thanks for listening to that. That's the Rosellas, not the Rosellas, it's not the Rosellas, it's Rosellas on Passions Live, talking about their music and their passion for music, and some of the things they've been doing over the last 12 months during lockdown. And please do check them out. I think I'm not just saying this, I think they're a really good band making some great tunes. Obviously, some great guys as well. And really great example of passionate guys doing passionate things that they love. And if there's anything from this interview you can take from that, it's find your passions and then make a living out of them if you can. Because as they say, you will never work another day in your life if you find a way of making a living out of your passions. So this is Passions Live, and take care and check the boys out, the Rosellas. I think they're on Spotify as well. And I will see you very soon for the next episode of Passions. We have numerous people lined up, numerous guests lined up. I'm probably not going to be out of this studio much in the next few weeks, because we've got some cracking guests coming along, and hopefully some more live streams where we'll take the risk, put a bit of jeopardy in, and make it into a live stream rather than just pre-recorded to make it a bit more interesting. So thanks very much indeed. And I appreciate your time today watching me and the boys. And I do appreciate it, because I know time is precious, very precious. And I hope you all are looking forward to coming out of lockdown. I know I am. And I guess the D-Day is 21st of June, when we can all get out and start listening to bands like Rosellas actually live with a beer in a real venue. So take care, everybody. Stay safe, and I will catch you again very soon, again on Passions. I'm Phil Croshaw. Bye for now.